I think in the last bull market, people got greedy. And they didn't just get greedy financially, they got greedy with the assumptions that the community.
So if this is the theory, why do you think the price might crash?
The ETF will make it easier for money to flow into Bitcoin, but I think it will also make it easy for money to flow out of Bitcoin as well. I think overall it will lead to more investment in Bitcoin. It will lead to a larger market cap. We're going to see the projects from last time rise to all-time heights. Or are we going to see more new projects actually raise to all-time heights?
Are you ready for an amazing episode? Because today we have a very special guest. We're excited to have Ben Rogers with us today. He's the head of sales and marketing at Flipster. He's had some incredible experiences working with industry giants like Google, Flight Centre, Travala.com. And today, Ben will share his insights into the crypto marketing world and his perspective on the future of crypto. Let's welcome Ben Rogers.
My name is Ben. I'm the head of marketing with Flipster.
What was the challenge you faced?
So my background professionally is within the travel space. So I've worked in airlines, I've worked in the hotel sector, and I worked for insurance, primarily travel insurance. And it was this kind of experience that landed me a job in crypto. So I was actually, several years ago now, approached by a girl who was an intern of mine a very long time ago at a company I worked for. And she was with a crypto OTA, so an online travel agency called Travel by Bit. And it's from there that I got my first crypto job, if you will. So what they did is they had an airline OTA that allowed people to book flights as you would anywhere else, but you could pay with crypto. And they also had a payment gateway at the time too, which they had rolled out through airports across Australia that was allowing people when they got off a flight to pay with Bitcoin or Litecoin, and it made a bit of an attention. Shortly after I joined, Binance actually took a majority stake in that company. And then it wasn't too long till we actually purchased Travala.com. And I was their first CMO. And so some of you guys might have heard of Travala.com. They're still going really strong. But that was my journey into crypto. From there, I've worked for a number of different projects of all different stripes, from NFTs through to ICOs. I've done a bit of consulting as well too for some really big exchanges. And now I've ended up here at Flipster. And I would say this is probably my favorite of the crypto companies I've got to work with yet.
So from person that don't know crypto much,
right.
How do they land like a job in crypto?
I would encourage them to look at what their previous experience has and why a crypto company would need that when they're putting together their resume or they're applying for jobs. It is an industry that is very much about making connections and who you know. So sitting around online and just kind of hoping that, someone's going to read your resume when you apply for a role is maybe not the best way to do it. I encourage you to get out there, try to reach out to people online and get connected, have a chat with them. If there are events in your city that are crypto related, go talk to some people in person. You're going to need that network. But the cool thing is once you break into the crypto industry, from my experience, it's really easy to keep going. Right? It's really easy to get the next job or work with some more people. But yeah, the first hurdle I've heard from many is quite hard.
Yeah, let's talk about Korea. Why is crypto trading so popular? People trading crazy volume. What's your observation?
I'm not Korean myself. So the assumption I would make here is lots of disposable incomes, perhaps within Korea for one. They've got the money to do it. But on our platform particularly, they seem to really like our competitions. So we run, like, say, the Dragon's Treasure, or previously when we've done different trading events, both volume-based and P&Ls, Koreans tend to really be quite competitive. Some guys in Korea, remember a mobile app, this is a true story. I promise it is true, everyone. We had one guy that in a single day on a mobile app had more than 10,000 trades that he did on his app. More than 10,000 trades. Yeah, open, close, open, close, open, close.
That is insane.
Yeah, that was insane. That was insane. If you calculate the time of the day, we looked into it. We didn't think it was possible, but it was. It was as well.
Is it a bot trading type of thing?
That's what we thought it was, but then we looked into it. It was not a bot. We do not have an API to our platform. It's you've got to be trading yourself.
Wow. What is the crypto scene like in Australia? Because we talk about crypto in Korea and Asia, but I don't know much about crypto in Australia, to be honest.
It's a good question. So I think comparatively to Korea and Singapore, it's not as exciting. It's definitely not as big as Asia, but it's certainly there. Last bull market, I think like the tax office in Australia reported something like about 1 in 25 people had crypto in one way or another. That has come down since the bull market. I believe I saw a study recently that it was much lower. There's 25 million people in Australia about that. So it was a relatively high adoption. You know, they're keen to try it. In my city where I come from, downtown area, into the bull market and after that as well too, we had multiple point of sale systems that you would see regularly in cafes or bars as well that allow people to make crypto payments. So it is something that people are involved in. The government in Australia, I think, hasn't really made a decision on what they want to do as it goes to regulations. And so that, I think, is creating some uncertainty there. I think Australia will pick up. I think if we go into the next bull market, we will see a lot more of Australian projects. And that's where I got started in crypto too. So I shouldn't, discount that. Travel by Bit was in Australia, and then Travala.com, its CEO was actually in Perth at the time. So there are people making moves in crypto that come from Australia.
So you're working for Flipster now. You said it's your favorite place to work so far. Why Absolutely. Flipster, and what's so different about Flipster?
I mentioned we have very, very smart people in our financial engineering team. Our team is actually able to list stuff faster than Binance. So generally what we do is if we hear Binance is going to list something at, XYZ time, we've got it on our platform first. And I know a lot of our new traders have been applying that into their strategies as well when they join us on the platform. So yeah, credit to the team. And I know they put in a lot of hours to get that up and running. But it is a demonstration of, again, fast, which is a theme for us. There's an assumption within the industry that when Binance lists a project, that token's going to pump. That's generally what people think. I don't know if it's true or not. I can point to situations where it definitely wasn't true, but there is a perception about it. So us as a derivatives platform, and we try to be quite generous too with the leverage that we can apply, people are coming in and they're sort of thinking what the Binance listing is going to have for the token if they're a short-term trader. But they might also be thinking about it, and there's like some of our big trades, some of our big wins that we've seen people have, they were looking at what it might mean over the next 3 or 4 weeks. That the token's now on Binance, it's now more readily available, it's easier for people to buy in more places. So that's what they're applying to their strategy. And us being able to have it first means they're able to make a decision before that happens as to what they think will happen to that token. But why are we different to other projects? Was that part of the question?
Different to other exchanges.
We're a new exchange, and we're trying to do one thing very, very well right now. For exchanges that are mature players in the market, you open their app, they do lots of things. They have spot trading, they have earning, they have copy trading, and a variety of other features that they might have as well. And so that can create challenges on its own, right? You got distracted users. You potentially have competition of what part of the product I should work on. With us, we're trying to do derivatives really well, and we're starting with a mobile-first approach. So whereby other apps have maybe been desktop first, and then they've switched back into the app, we're going in the other direction. So I think that's really cool and interesting for one, and it is working, right? It is working. Like right now, there are people in the market who's teasing that the bull market might be back. At Flipster, it's been bullish all year round. We're growing at about 550% month-on-month user base. I think our average trading volume growth has been 4,000% this year. So it's working.
Can you tell us more about the founder? I heard they are in quant trading.
Founders at Flipster set up Presto Labs. It'll be 10 years next year. If you're not familiar with Presto Labs, guys, they're probably the largest quant trading firm within Asia. And based on volume on Binance, they're definitely one of the biggest. They've partnered with lots and lots of projects in crypto. They've got lots done. Last year, publicly, they did about 500 billion in volume on their platform. But what I'm getting at here is these guys know how to build a business. These guys know the crypto industry. They know trading. And for them, an exchange was a way for them to bring those skills, bring the knowledge that they have, and refocus it now into a B2C market. So beyond the crypto, I do a lot of stuff with startups, right? And one of the things I've noticed is the startups that tend to make it are the ones where the founders come from the industry, right? They're not trying to learn it these things too. So I think these are the right people to set something like this up.
There are a lot of exchanges out there, big ones, matured ones, new ones. Why is this a good time to start an exchange?
It's a great question. So I was talking about things that I see in startups that are successful. And we talked about, people come from the industry. The other one is timing. So why now is a great time is we've been in a bear market. I don't think that's controversial to say. And we've seen a lot of projects, tokens and exchanges the like go broke. So the previous generation of exchanges hadn't successfully cornered the market in the last bull market. There's capacity for a new exchange. And with us being self-funded effectively by our founders, the bear market was the perfect time to build. The bear market was the perfect time to get ready with a new product. And that's why now is the right time. So if you can make it in a bear market as an exchange, you're far more likely to make it when the bull market comes around and, attention hopefully swings back in favor of crypto. What I absolutely love about Flipster is how fast we're getting stuff done. I'm a pretty impatient and kind of competitive guy. So sitting around in a boardroom and talking about projects for 6 months before we start has never really been something that has particularly I've enjoyed. So here we move really quickly. It can be the start of the day. We will have an idea, and we're starting to put that into execute that by the end of the day. The founders here are very data driven. They're very data focused. And in some other crypto companies I've been with, they haven't necessarily been as kind of commercially minded as maybe they could have been. And so having that, going to be accountable to numbers or making sure you're growing or making sure things is heading in the right direction, I think it creates a really good culture. So for me at Flipster, that's probably why I'm enjoying it so much.
Would you call this a Korean crypto exchange? Because the founders are Korean, right?
It's not a Korean crypto exchange. So the founders are Korean. They're all based in Singapore. So our company is registered in Sychus. We have a license in Poland. That's pretty recent news. And then the holding company is in Singapore. The founders themselves met in the United States a long time ago, where they set up their business. In the company, you guys might look at me. You might notice I'm not Korean. We all speak English, and we have a team all around the world.
You're from Australia, right?
I'm from Australia, yes.
Let's talk about the competitors. Who are your main competitors right now?
I consider us to have the crypto competitors, and then I consider us to have the entertainment competitors. And I'll jump into the easiest one first, being the crypto competitors. So all the exchanges that have derivatives trading products are technically our competitors. So you've got, Binance, Ucoin, OKX, etc. Now, on the other side of that, we have the entertainment competitors. And so what I argue is like a product like Instagram, in a way, is a competitor for us. Or Netflix is potentially a competitor for us. Or a news business is a competitor for us. And the reason why that is the case is we are on an app. And so when people are trading with us, they could be doing entertainment type activities as well too, scrolling Instagram, scrolling New York Times or something like that. So we're actually getting them interested in crypto and making, maybe highly leveraged fast trades with us on a token they haven't seen. And so we're cutting into that time as well, which I think is fun. And it's another angle for us as well when we're thinking about an exchange that we're competing for attention of a user, which is the way social networks or Netflix or something like that, they kind of grow their businesses.
It's very hard to attract attention, and it's very expensive as well, right? What are you guys doing to attract, let's say, users who's scrolling Instagram or Facebook? What is Flipster doing to attract users?
I'll take this from maybe the product design perspective. So we've brought in some designers who have worked for very, very big companies in the tech space, generally over within the United States, brought them over to Asia. So they're familiar with a lot of the tactics that are used in these apps to make them interesting and make them engaging to people. We're starting with that there. We're not bogged down as well with a large amount of features. So if you're a legacy product out there, you have a very advanced product, probably in terms of the endpoints of your APIs for what can happen, all the different features you have in them, and you kind of jam all that into an application. When we've gone the other way, we've been able to take attention, take UI from the very beginning, and then just add in the little bits that we need. With our marketing, which is more my part as well, we want to earn your attention. So if you are on our social networks, and I encourage you to take a look, I hope you see an evolution of us getting more and more interesting and more creative what we're putting out there. We want to earn your eyeballs, and we don't want to take them for granted. So that's a big piece of what we have as well. When we get users into our ecosystem, we have a very sophisticated direct marketing approach as well. My strategy with direct marketing is I want to get to a point where potentially 99% of emails that you receive are unique. So no one else has seen them. We're dynamically building them around you, what you're doing on the app, what you're interested in, what you want to see, because we want to earn your eyeballs. We don't want to take you for granted with just like a standard newsletter that's sent to X number of other people. So again, I think it goes to, we're talking about fast is one of our core values. I think earning attention is another thing that we're keeping front of mind.
You said you've worked at really big exchanges before, right? What's the company culture compared to Flipster?
So we have a lot of ex-people from big companies inside of Flipster. They're not necessarily all crypto first. They're bringing experience from tech, and then we're teaching them about crypto. But in the important roles, like the fin engineering team, they're all very crypto heavy and academically so as well. In the bigger company that I worked for, at the time, I think a lot of hiring was done around people who are potentially passionate for crypto. Let's face it, last bull market or the one before, there were a lot of people who didn't think this was going to work out. And so you need to have passion because you want to have people that are quite loyal. Everyone here is very kind. Everyone here is very aligned. And I love that in the culture. I think we're all realists to what's going on. And maybe the other company I worked for, a lot of people passionate about crypto. And that was kind of the primary thing that people needed to be when they were hired. And then they were sort of like, you'll learn the job as you go.
Have you noticed some changes after, let's say, Luna and FTX? What are the crypto companies doing differently to minimize the risk?
I think in the last bull market, people got greedy. And they didn't just get greedy financially, they got greedy with the assumptions that the broader community, like the normies beyond those in crypto, would just keep coming. And we burnt a lot of trust as an industry. We destroyed a lot of people. Lots of people lost money. Lots of people lost faith in friends that said, I should buy this thing and go there. And it was exceptionally damaging, and it is exceptionally damaging. I don't think people are going to fall for those tricks anymore. I think people are aware of the tricks, and I think people are looking for products that seem safe and secure. But what I would point to is, if I'm looking at the big guys, and I hope we're trying to do this as well, we're treating crypto like it is a mainstream brand now. And we're doing the kind of activities that a mainstream brand would do to build trust in their product. We're very worried about reviews. We're very worried about the perception of our product. We take crash reports extremely seriously. Customer service, we're online for 24/7 for guys if they have questions. As we're tailoring our approach to bringing users in, we're being very gracious when people are even trusting us with their KYC information before they bring it in, before they even put money on the exchange or make a trade. A comment maybe on Binance for a quick second. I think I've looked at their marketing a lot. In the last 6 months, I would describe it as mature. I would describe it as very mature in what they're doing. They have a lot of safety content, a lot of security focused stuff, and they do in a way set the trend for this industry. And so I think that what's going on is that we know we've got to earn the trust, and we shouldn't just expect it.
Let's talk about the potential approval of Bitcoin spot ETF, right? Everyone's talking about it. How do you think this will impact the crypto industry?
My hypothesis is when it goes through, there'll be a big pump that day for Bitcoin. I think there could be a big pump for other tokens as well as attention comes back to Bitcoin. I think we will get mainstream media to have stories about it on the day that it happens. And then I think there will be a correction.
Why is that? Because I've been reading a lot of reports, and a lot of specialists are saying it's going to double, triple the market cap, right? And like other generations, for example, our parents are going to invest or are more likely to invest in this ETF instead of like actually buying a Bitcoin during an exchange. So if this is the theory, why do you think the price might crash?
The ETF will make it easier for money to flow into Bitcoin, but I think it will also make it easy for money to flow out of Bitcoin as well. I think overall it will lead to more investment in Bitcoin. It will lead to a larger market cap, but I'm perhaps not as bullish on it maybe some other people are for what it will do to the price and that price long term. And I do think people will, and I do think there'll be periods of time potentially where, quantitative easing, people might feel more comfortable parking their money in Bitcoin. But what I suspect would happen for mainstream investors, not all of them, some people will be happy to stick it there, is that if there is an opportunity for, say, an overcorrection in a tech stock, where a tech stock's down 40% that has a nice dividend or these things, they're probably still going to be more attractive to investors and they would shift their money back into it. I see the ETF as kind of ensuring that we'll keep having bull markets. Actually, people are talking regulations will kill that off. I think it's going to help that to keep happening because money will flow easily between mainstream and crypto. But that's my hypothesis. Regulations, I think the fact that, people are facing consequences for having done the wrong thing now, even without regulations, the fact that people are going to jail for this will make it scarier to, maybe pump a project up so much or create unrealistic expectations of long-term gains in crypto. So I do see that probably coming down, but I think it's ultimately a good thing. So for everyone who's made lots of money in crypto, we've got to remember there were people who lost a lot of money for them to make money. And the crypto industry as a market cap itself compared to the bigger financial markets or the bigger housing market is tiny. So if we want to grow the market cap of crypto, I think we need to create a market that is more stable for bigger traders to come in. And those bigger traders are not necessarily in crypto. If they are, they maybe only got a couple of toes in comparatively to what's going on in the rest of their portfolio. And so regulation will make it safer. There's the potential too that maybe insurance products can start to come in for crypto as well too, which will bring more people's money in. But I do think we will kill off the 100x, the 1000x overnight, which was very fun last bull market, I'll be honest.
With the high inflation rate, unemployment rate, people are expecting the economy to be bad, right, next year. Do you think there is a bull run coming?
I do think there is a bull market coming. We have now more people who have had positive experiences in crypto. Yes, we've had people who've had a lot of negative experiences in crypto. That when the traditional markets, perhaps, if there is an economic crisis and, people do a run on, say, Wall Street or start dumping the big stocks and they've now got cash somewhere, they're going to want to put it somewhere. Right? They're going to want to reinvest it if they have funds. And I think crypto as kind of the rebel, the anti-establishment kind of brand for investing will have a place in that.
A lot of people think this is the last huge bull market we'll ever see because of the regulation. So you don't think this is the case?
No, I definitely do not. I think there are many, many bull markets to come, and the bull markets in crypto will happen even long after I'm dead.
What are the trends and narratives you've seen that people are talking about recently, and what's going to be the huge thing in the next bull run?
Oh, I think you mentioned it. I think a lot of people are expecting the ETF to kick it off. I don't necessarily think they're wrong. Because I think the big thing for the ETF is going to be the front page stories. Like if we look at the mainstream media for crypto, what's been on the front page has been FTX, right?
Yeah.
It's been SBF, it's been that scandal. That's what's making the front page. We haven't had really a good story. I can't think of one this year that's been on the Washington Post, the Financial Times for crypto. So I think that will be the Ripple. Maybe when Ripple beat the SEC. Right. And I think that had a really nice pump on it, actually, when that happened as well, too. Like, people flowed into Ripple, people flowed into the market. So I think that will happen. That will perhaps garner more media attention. People will want to report on how this goes. People want to report on the craze again. I think that can be the catalyst that perhaps starts the next bull market.
What are some projects that you're paying attention to?
Flipster. And everyone should be paying attention to Flipster.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'm biased. For me, I'm looking at what I bought into last time, right? Mm-hmm. So I still have a lot of AVA, Travela's token. I have a lot of DOT, right? And I've watched that just, that's good. I hope that comes back. I have a fair bit of Polygon. So I'm keen to see where that one goes, and ETH. But I'm a big ETH guy. ETH is my top 10 token. That's what I've always been a big fan of. So I hope we see ETH reach new heights. But I'm also looking at maybe what, if Polygon doesn't make it, that's a little bit shaky right now. I am curious to see what project might be the replacement as the layer 2 there. So we'll see. What I want to know from the bull market, though, this time, and I don't have an answer for this, but my question is, are we going to see the projects from last time rise to all-time heights? Or are we going to see more new projects actually raise to all-time heights? And I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but that's what I'm watching out for.
What is your personal investing strategy? For example, you're all in on Bitcoin, Ethereum. How does it work for you?
I look at ETH. Right? So I always want to be buying ETH, and I want to find projects that I think are undervalued. And I'm also interested in what the market situation is as well. So I put a lot of faith when I'm doing sort of spot trading on what the media is going to care about, right? What the mainstream media is going to pick up, because that gets attention, that brings more people into a project. But I'm always bullish on ETH. I will be looking to start making some buys soon. I use Bitcoin as an indicator, because when Bitcoin booms, more often than not, maybe other deserving projects can follow suit. So I'll be waiting for perhaps a correction in Bitcoin, and then I'll be jumping into some things and be looking to hold them for a while.
Anything else you would like to share with our audience?
You guys need to download Flipster. And we have the Dragon's Treasure, which loads and loads of prizes as well too for trading. We're actually giving away more than $1 million in prizes with that competition between now and the end of the year. But yeah, great time to jump into Flipster. If we are right and there's a bull market next year, you can be practicing your strategies and ready for all the fun that is in store for us.
That is wonderful. Ben, thank you so much for joining us today. I find this very insightful, your experience, and it's actually very fun chatting with you. Anything else you would like to add?
I don't think I have anything else. Sorry. I'm done.